I have the new Feiyutech Scorp Mini 2, and here are my opinions on it. So, full disclosure, Feiyutech sent me out this gimbal to keep. It doesn't have any effect as to what I say, and don't forget, I already had their previous one, so I get to compare against both. So this is the second addition to the Scorp Mini, which I previously reviewed, and there's a couple of extra features, which are really cool, and then there's some other features in it that you wouldn't even really notice until you have the two of them side by side, and I was like, oh, they've addressed that. Quite a few things came in the box with this. You've got an adapter for your GoPro, you've got an adapter for your smartphone, then you've got an absolute abundance of cables for every kind of scenario for controlling every kind of camera or device that you have on the gimbal. And then this, I have no idea what this is. It's not included in the manual. It also came with the original Scorp Mini. I have no idea what it's for. It could be maybe a counterbalance, but it doesn't tell me anywhere, so I don't know what it is. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring that bell to get notified every time I put up a new video. So let's talk about design. They're very, very similar gimbals. You can see here size-wise and all, very comparable. The one noticeable is here. This is much, much longer than the Scorp Mini original, and I think this actually adds to the capabilities of being able to balance better with a full frame camera. I'll talk about that later. So if we come around the back and you see the screens, very similar. I think the Scorp Mini 2 is a little bit bigger. There's a better jog wheel on it as well for better and easier navigation, which I was definitely a fan of. Slight differences, you know, in design, nothing that we're going to critique them over really. I will say this though, I much prefer that wheel on the Scorp Mini than I do of it on the Scorp Mini 2. I just think that looks gorgeous. This is a little bit meh, but like it's the equivalent of pixel peeping really when you're critiquing over that. Locking systems seem to be the same. Everything else really and truly, the look and feel of it really is pretty much the same. A noticeable difference on the design is this little circle here. You'll see it is missing from the Mini. That is where the AI tracker sits. So when you do your gestures, that's what you're looking at. We'll talk about that in greater detail later in the video. I do find that this section is quite crucial to the design in the fact that it does balance the cameras much better. It's much easier to balance cameras that are coming close to that load capacity, because don't forget, you're not just thinking camera, you could be thinking wireless microphones, you could be thinking ND filters, and that all plays a part on the weight. And if you're already at 1 kilo, you don't have much wiggle room, and if the arms aren't long enough, you're not going to get a balance. So that was the problem I had with the previous one. It looks as though they have addressed it with this one. Another new feature that comes with it is this smartphone adapter. So that will sit somewhere here and your smartphone will go on. I don't shoot with a smartphone, so I don't use that. So, you know, but that is nice. I don't think it's Arca-Swiss compatible. I'm not too sure if the foot of this is Arca-Swiss compatible. Like if this is just a standard Arca-Swiss ball head here. Put it on there, clearly too small. You can put it on the side and it will clamp into place, but with the given price of smartphones, would you be happy with having that mounted just like that there? Considering that the plate has always been Arca-Swiss compatible, why didn't they do it with the smartphone? That's a slight oversight, I think. In terms of flexibility for how you can hold the gimbal, you know, you can obviously, you know, whatever way you are comfortable, if you're all shoulders or if you're all elbows, doesn't really matter what way you shoot, they have kind of accounted for it. Lovely, nice, small. The great thing about this gimbal is it doesn't take as much space up as other gimbals, you know, so it is nice that way there. Same as the Scorp Mini really. Buttons on the side, the functionality, mainly a lot the same of what was before. The main difference really is the AI tracking. Imagine a camera with AI tracking that with a gesture could follow everything you do. Be cool, wouldn't it? So easy. Wow, that really does track you. Keeps a hold of you there. And over here. Keep going, keep going. How far does it go? All the way. Full 360. Not the most responsive, but pretty cool nonetheless. How far does it track back to? Still on me. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, a little bit laggy there now. And then turn it off. No, in the sunlight it's not catching. Sensor's not catching me at all. That should turn it off. It's a silly gesture, but turn off. And turn off. What is going on? Let me do this again. Oh, okay. That turned it off. Wait, I saw a video that this turned... Oh, no. It's this here again. Okay. Really cool. I do believe that as technology comes on, it will become more smoother and you'll have less of that jerk in the beginning when it starts off. I would initiate it, stay still, don't move your head, be conscious of your movements, and then do the movements if you want that kind of smooth movement. That's how I would go about it, really. It's all about head movement. It's not about shoulder, and it literally follows your head. So if you're talking and you're a bit wild with head movement, you're going to have a lot of movement. So you know, it'll hone you in just to kind of be static till you need to be and then move on. Just like on the Scorp Mini 1, easy to set up, easy to balance, especially on full frame. I much preferred balancing the full frame on this one than I did on the Scorp Mini. So if you are looking for a gimbal that can do, say if you have a behind the scenes for APS-C camera that you may own, like I used to have, and then your main stuff is with a full frame and you want that flexibility to be able to use both, this is going to be the option for you. I'll be honest, the only time I use a gimbal is when I'm working for an estate agent, when I'm doing real estate photography for estate agents selling houses, and they want a quick short video. I will say this with the two gimbals, they're very forgiving to the beginners. People like me who aren't overly experienced with these, I don't have great movements with these, and gimbals in the past have fought against me. I don't find there's much of a fight with these, and especially this one, considering that I've sold my APS-C camera. That's why you don't see any example footage in this video of APS-C footage, because I don't have a camera anymore for that. It's all full frame. So when I've done the real estate stuff, it's with a full frame camera and it's worked absolutely perfectly. My only real critique of these gimbals from the first one and even the second one is the low capacity is just a little bit short. You need to be very choosy on the lenses that you pick, and then what else you're going to put on the camera as well. You're going to have to strip the camera back down, get cages off it. So there is a little bit of that. You need to be smart on how you mount your camera, unless you're using APS-C, which is going to be a very light system. But if you're using full frame, you need to be strategic in what you are going to put on here to make sure that it does balance and perform for you. But once it does perform, it performs great and it's lovely. It doesn't take up much room. Put this in the side of my bag and away we go. So at a price point of around €300 for everything it's offering far more than it should, I think. You know, you can control the camera USB, you've got your AI tracking, it can take full frame, it can take APS-C, you can control it with an app. Like, what more do you want out of a small gimbal? It's the choice. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. If you did, maybe give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to get notified every time I post up a new video. You can find me on all the social medias under Mark Duffy Photography. And until the next time, later gators.